and we stayed with our uncle, and from a big house to, integrated to families, and so that's how I ended up here.
American dream?
American dream, yeah.
Juan?
I'd say so, yeah.
I would say God put everything in the right place at the right time. My mom wanted to eventually come here and, see me grow up here, get educated, that kind of thing. She came to visit family on a tourist visa. During that time, I ended up starting to shake in the middle of the night while I slept. So she started seeking medical treatment for me and was able to extend her visa. During that time, she was able to then work out a work contract, which then took her on the path to permanent residency, and eventually, we stayed here permanently from there.
American dream as well.
Yeah.
Who is not a citizen yet? Who's on the path of citizenship? We have 4, 5, 6 people. You, up in the corner of Guatemala, what is it, David? Yeah. Is that your name? David, tell me your story. Why do you want to be an American citizen?
I think it's our right to be a citizen, and we should do our part. And
why do you want? You're from Guatemala. Why do you want to be an American citizen? Why are you here?
Because this country opened the door for me and my family, and it has offered our dream.
What is the difference between this and Guatemala? What does the United States offer that Guatemala doesn't?
Opportunities about work, safety, just the laws in general.
How do you mean safety?
Because it's very dangerous in Guatemala, and we don't have the gangs as bad as it is in Guatemala, and the laws just are broken every day, and murders, everything goes, it's really bad.
Thank you. Thank you. America, the thing that we have here that we've always had that has always made us different is the rule of law. That's what makes America a special place. George Washington said we are a country of laws and not of men, meaning it didn't matter what your station was. It didn't matter. You break the law, you go to jail, you pay the penalty. You fail, but you get to go back and get into the system again and pick yourself back up. That's what's made us different, and that is what we're losing. Back in a second. Legal immigration. I don't know a soul that is against legal immigration. It renews us. And quite honestly, we have enough fat and lazy Americans here. We need people to challenge us. We need people to help rebuild us. We need people here who understand. In fact, Anna was just saying in the break, and this is my biggest point on legal immigration, people renew us. You were just saying that most Americans don't realize what's happening.
Right. The problem is most Americans have never even been outside the borders of the United States through no fault of their own. They just haven't had the opportunity like we have to be in other parts of the world. And the reason why we came here is because this is the land of opportunity. There's a lot to be followed. There was there was some corruption and ideology. There's always that, but not as bad as it is right now. So we see what's being done to this country. We see the American dream crumbling right before our eyes because we have something to compare to that unfortunately most of the vast majority of the American public does not. So
I see people from Latin America and I see people from the former Soviet bloc, and they all, you're nodding your head, they all recognize it and they all say, what is wrong with Americans? How come because we don't know the language. We've never heard the Marxist kind of language. Right. You're really, what is it, Camila? Cornelia. Yeah, you're shaking your head.
I'm originally from Romania. And I have a similar story with Lan, where my father and I walked across the border when I was 12. We were shot at. We were caught by the police and sent back, where we spent some time in communist prison. I was 13 at the time. In Romania, basically, having lived there, you see what's happening here, where your liberties are taken away slowly but surely. And you know what you lived through. I know how it was there, where no freedom of the press, your mail gets read, your phone calls get listened to, you're not allowed to have relatives outside the Eastern Bloc, and you slowly but surely you see this where, it's happening very slowly, and Americans, like Anna said, they have nothing to compare. They have not lived through it.
Well, we have. It's the hardest thing to believe that I've been talking for a while about our country becoming Crime Inc. Our country isn't that way. We have bad politicians, but we don't have that in our country. We don't think our liberties can be taken away, and our founders knew. John, I want to introduce you real quick because you know, in Arizona everybody is a racist cop, but you're a state trooper, and you're actually helping, or a former state trooper, and you're actually helping Jean next to you become an American citizen. True?
Well, I helped her get out of a situation when she went back home to visit her family.
And tell me how this has happened. Jean, tell me your story.
I was supposed to renew my H-1 working visa, but I didn't know, so I left the country. And I was gonna take the plane come back. I said, "You don't have a visa." So I had to actually call him to break in my apartment to get my document and fax
This
it.
is yet another cop kicking down the doors of an immigrant. And next to you is Michelle. Tell me your story real quick, Michelle.
I'm more related to Anna that Anna, that when I was 16, that my mom wanted to have better opportunity for me to study abroad because my grandfather is actually graduated from MIT in 1920s. So she always believed there's a better opportunity, better education for me to come to this country. But I didn't appreciate that or that. And then until I was turned 22, and then my uncle here sponsored me, and then I came in as F1 student. And then the more I study here, the more I live in this country, I realize what great country, what great system it has. And now this is my husband. We have our own real estate business. I do property management. All my friends and family back in China said, "You're gonna fail. People are not gonna pay your rent, and then you're gonna have to do all this." And I said, "Don't worry. They have all this law, everything. I just follow this law, and I made it." And then so they just don't think this is not going to happen in China because unless you know somebody who works for police or in the government, special connection, backdoor connection, then you will never actually make it.
Well,
Here,
let me tell you, Michelle. Here, we've seen it with this administration. You don't need any kind of special connections with anybody or know anybody or in unions or anything like that. Back in just a second. I have to tell you, we do these audience shows, and we always run out of time, and we need to have you back. I would love to have you all back so we can continue our conversation, because these are voices that are just not heard. People who are here legally that say, let's enforce our laws. Juan, quickly, I want to give you the last word.
Well, what's changed now is in the past, when people came, like my mother, option was not a failure. There were no safety nets for you to fall back on.
From New York, good night, America.